Welcome back, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. This segment is sponsored by Mr. J's Havana Smoke Shop. I do want to say that the J. Grotto Silk Lancero is available. And in this particular line, we're very blessed tonight to have what represents the J in this line, J in J. Grotto, is actually the J sitting in the studio right here. Because of that man sitting right here in the studio, we have the J. Grotto Lancero available in the silk.
Because of Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's a nickname, but we won't use it.
No, we won't.
He's too classy for that.
So,
I smoked that cigar on vacation. It was fantastic.
What's the box price? Now, I just purchased a box, so I should know this. But Paul was in the store, and I said, I want a box. I want you to sign the box. Paul signed. You put together a box for me. I think he only had one actual box
right? And
left,
how's this?
And he actually filled it from a bundle for me
and signed it. People are buying. Okay, the bundles are 20. We have no boxes. We don't want to bring it out without the box. People are just saying, give me the bundles.
Yeah, I think he sold me.
So what I understand, I don't know if this is true. Mr. Ferguson is supposed to get, is it 15 or 25% of these sales?
Yeah.
He laughs. He knows Paul.
So what's the price? What's the price in the J. Grotto?
Same thing as the $7.99.
$7.99. So it's about $80 for a box.
Yep.
And what's the phone number for the store if people want?
I don't know. Okay, I'll tell you right now.
I'm gonna look
it up. I'll look it up right now.
I should have had that in the show notes. I dropped the ball on that one.
And you forgot to mention about the Maduro. Hold on.
Yep, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there next. I want to make sure.
Isn't that sad? I worked there and I don't know them.
Well, you wouldn't call the store necessarily.
Just call.
You're there.
Okay.
Your cell. Stogie's saying a cell phone. No, I'm just kidding. The phone number for the store is
401-822-0536. Be the first one to call, and you'll get a box.
For $80.
Wow.
Imagine that.
No, it will be if you order out of state. That's another.
There's no tax.
There's no tax. No,
okay.
And we knock it off. It would be. It will actually be $75.
I keep a P.O. box right over the border in Massachusetts for just that reason.
I would too. If you can beat the state and the Fed out of money, do it.
Actually, I give him Chris's. No, in Connecticut.
Chris, you
got to have an employee that works in Connecticut that comes here every week to ship cigars to get no tax.
Turd knows the deal.
I want to welcome our very special guest for this segment, Mr. Dave Burck from Cigar Jukebox. Welcome, Dave, to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be on.
Dave, thank you for all of the support. An email, you've been reaching out to us. You've given us a lot of support on Twitter. I want to thank you for that. Dave runs the Cigar Jukebox podcast and is in Australia, which is a kind of, and you don't really. I didn't notice an Australian accent, Dave.
Yeah,
what's up with that?
No, I moved here from Minnesota about 11 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I sort of have a mix between a Midwest and an Australian accent, I guess.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Dave, how did you get started with cigars? What's your background?
Well, so I used to, and it kind of feeds into the podcast a bit. I used to live in Minneapolis by a tobacco store there called Golden Leaf. That's in Minneapolis and Uptown. And a buddy of mine and I would go there, pick up cigars, and then go to a blues bar, smoke them, and listen to the music.
I love the blues.
And I just loved hanging out in the shop, just asking people, what they were smoking, trying new things. And, that was about 12, 13 years ago.
Cool. Very cool.
I'm going through menopause here.
You all right?
It's hot.
We'll crank down. Chris will crank down the AC
I'll
for you.
take my shirt off and get everybody excited.
Please don't.
This scotch is getting the best of me right now.
So Dave, tell us about the concept around the Cigar Jukebox. Like, how'd you get into podcasting?
Well, and it gets into a little bit about the differences between Australia and the States when it comes to cigar regulations.
Oof.
But in Australia, cigars is really an individual sort of hobby because there aren't a lot of your bricks and mortar cigar shops to have events at. So I guess I would just listen to a lot of music while I was having cigars and thought to put the podcast out there to connect with other people in Australia that were having cigars and kind of make, I guess, like a virtual cigar shop, I guess, for people to hang out in. Cool. And a lot of cigar people have come out of the woodwork, and sort of made contact and stuff. And
So
Cool.
are there? It sounds like there's a lot less places to actually smoke in a public place. Can you smoke in the cigar stores in Australia?
Oh.
Yeah, now I gotta warn you, Stogie Santa might either faint or leave the room or
no,
just collapse.
I'm familiar with what's happening in Australia.
It's interesting because I heard you guys talking about the FDA stuff a couple episodes ago, and it's sort of similar to what the FDA stuff is there. So here, all tobacco is regulated regardless of what it is. So it could be a cigarette, it could be a cigar, it could be whatever. And because of that, the prices are just insane. So cigar shops really can't sell enough to stay open, and cigar regulations around smoking in public are so strict that no one can afford to really do it. So, like in Brisbane, where I live, it's a city of maybe, I don't know, a couple million, and I think there's one shop where you could smoke outside that's open from like 10 to 2 during the week and not open on the weekend.
Wow.
And really, there's only one cigar shop I'm aware of, and I would say 90% of cigars that are bought here are all bought online.
Interesting. Now, do you get
Paul? Let me interrupt. If anyone's listening out there and heard that, there's your case. This is what could happen if this FDA gets their way.
Absolutely. Good. Second, what Will said for sure. Now, Dave. Now, do you get taxed on cigars that you're ordering online that are brought into the country?
Yeah, I was laughing because for Will's package, I had to call customs and stuff because I usually don't order overseas, mainly because I want to try and support the people that are trying to sell cigars here. But the tax here, now a kilo is about 2.2 pounds, and it's $500 for a kilo.
Wow.
So the tax per cigar is about $12.
Wow.
Now, sometimes the tax guy at customs might be out to lunch or having a nap when my package comes.
Yep. Yeah,
So
like how do
that's
they know? How do they know it's cigars when it comes to customs? They open up the box.
Yeah, and they gotta label it.
I got.
Yeah, I had to label the box. What was in it?
So it has to be labeled what's in it when you ship.
Yep.
And so the tax is $500 per kilo or 2.2 pounds.
Yeah. So it's like $250 a pound, essentially.
That's
I gotcha.
insane. That's just so sad.
Now, shipping within Australia is not regulated by customs, so you can send cigars to each other in Australia.
Yes, but the same tax applies for distributors here.
Yep. Okay, so if you're buying online inside of Australia, but you can send personally between two friends in Australia. But the problem is getting them into the country.
Yeah, now, and I've sent some Roma Craft ones around to people here because you can't buy those here.
Yeah. Now you can purchase Cuban cigars in Australia, but whether it's Cuban, Nicaraguan, or Dominican, your taxes still apply when you go into the shop to buy them, correct?
Yeah. I mean, to give an example of sort of the prices I'm kind of talking about, it's funny because I listen to the Stogies of the Week all the time, and I laugh when people talk about the prices of the cigars that you buy. Because, like, Paul, I know you really like the Opus X. I saw Opus X in the shop. I went to a place in Melbourne, and there's two places in Melbourne where you could smoke inside. And one of them had an Opus X, and it was $68.
And that's all they had was one, right?
Well, they had a box.
They had one box.
Yep, they had one box, and one cigar was $68.
Country of Australia.
$68
Paul would still pay $68.
Well, I'm going to talk about a cigar I paid $60 for when I was at Casa Fuente.
And also elaborate what the B&Ms go through.
Yeah.
How the humidors or what they set up.
Dave, I was going to ask this. So, like, what's your shopping experience
I was in the DR, and a gentleman, he told me I was in complete horror. So you can elaborate what the B&M's got to go through and how the setup is in Australia?
It's like, I mean, so I'll just go to this one place where it was a cigar whiskey lounge that carried their own cigars that you could buy there, right? So you go in, first you have to sign a waiver that you're signing a waiver to be okay inside while people are smoking. So I had to sign that. then they take you. It's like just sort of like kind of like a walk-in humidor that you'd have there, except it was like about 25% of the size, really, because we don't carry a whole lot of range of cigars here. So you go in there, and there's a new law here called plain packaging, which means that they have to put. Oh, I wish I don't have anything here. But if you can imagine putting a piece of blank paper around the band so you don't know what the band is. So they have to put that around the band with the name of the cigar. And then you can buy it and whatever. Most cigars here range in price from about, for a good one, it's like between $25 and like $70.
Wow. And you can't see what the band is. It's blank.
No, it's blank. Yeah. And that just came out last year.
And the person behind there can't make any recommendations at the B&M. It's not.
No.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Stogie Santa brings up a good point in that the other thing that kills sort of the bricks and mortar places here, because you mentioned that Alec Bradley event you're going to, and you guys do giveaways and stuff. It's illegal to give away cigars here.
And that's coming our way too.
So you can't have events, essentially.
I got you.
Because you can't, like, say, come in and everybody gets a pack of, like, 3 Alec Bradleys or something to come to this event. Like, you can't do that.
Wow.
This is something I hope people listen to this that aren't a member of CRA and understand. I don't mean to be beleaguering the point. This is incredible. I'm so happy. I mean, I'm not happy that you have to go through what you're going through, but this is the true reality. What could happen?
It's funny because, like with the podcast, a lot of all the Australian smokies are making contact, and there are a couple cigar clubs around, but it's sort of like you sort of feel like an outlaw in the Wild West or something because there aren't a lot of events. You have to sort of connect over email. There aren't a lot of shops around, and it's all really high. It's so highly regulated here.
Now, do you get together with friends and smoke like at your house and stuff?
Yeah, so we'll do that. I mean, like I said, in Melbourne, they had 2 cigar lounges there. I can't even imagine like the amount of waivers they have to clear to do that.
Right.
But and a lot of those places existed sort of before the regulations came in, so they're grandfathered in.
Yep.
But like, for example, like when you guys talk about Boxworthy and stuff, like no one really buys boxes here
because it's cost prohibitive.
Oh yeah, and even if you buy boxes, like I was just talking to a guy the other day, bought a box of cigars from the States and had them shipped, and he had like a bill like $250 for him or something.
Right. Yeah, because of the weight.
Yeah.
Restrictions or taxes on the weight.
Yeah. So essentially, when you buy cigars overseas, you're kind of buying it twice because you buy it from the supplier and then you pay the tax on it.
When it comes
I would love to send them a whole bunch of stuff.
I know that's what you want to do with your friends.
I really do.
So our friend.
He couldn't do it.
I would. I mean, you can hear the passion in his voice, and I don't mean to be corny. He's a cigar geek.
Well,
there's no doubt about it. And
our friend Pete, that we see on Google Hangouts sometimes, is in Australia, and so he's kind of filled me in on a lot of what's happening there too, and he says the same thing. Now, Dave, if you travel to another country, when you come back into the country, if you have cigars, do those same taxes apply by weight? Can you declare
anything
cigars?
Under 50 grams is duty free, which is about 4 cigars roughly.
So you can bring 4 cigars back in from another country if you're traveling without tax.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's more than that, they'll tax you on it.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yep. But when you mail them, there's no duty free. They tax whatever. Like you can send 1 cigar and it gets taxed.
I gotcha. Oh, wow.
Oh Lord.
But the funny where people get caught is that, say, customs misses a couple packages, and they don't get taxed, and they go, "Hey, this is great," so they order like 3 boxes,
and then they get caught,
and they get a bill for like $1,000 or something.
Yeah. Now, is there any restrictions to outdoor smoking in your residence?
Good question.
Oh, not your residence. It's mainly sort of outside.
public areas.
Like,
I mean, the restriction starts with shipping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
can't get them to smoke at your house.
So
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Because there are some restrictions that some states are talking about implementing or talking about enforcing. I don't know if California could actually
death rate must be very high in Australia.
Yeah, but the
I'm just
the divorce rate more likely, right?
Oh, I'd be divorced in a day.
But in California, for example, in the United States, they're talking about, I don't know if they passed a law or they were talking about passing it, that if you're smoking outside in your yard, that there was a restriction. You ran into this.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And make it real quick, my brother lives in California, about an hour and a half away from L.A. He went out to get probably get something for me to drink. And I'm smoking in a hot tub.
Booze.
A little bit. And someone told me to put it out and whatever, so I thought it was a joke. Within 15 minutes, I had the police at the door, and he said, you can do one of two things. And I said, what's that? You can put it out or you'll be fined. I'm in my backyard. That's 5 years ago.
Wow.
That sad?
No, it's not.
It's crazy. Crazy.
I mean, the issue here, which sort of sounds like basically with the FDA, is the thing here is they want to cut down on smoking cigarettes. And the main way they do that is through price. But the problem is, it applies to all tobacco that's here at all. So what drives the legislation is actually cigarette smoking, but cigars get caught up in it because they don't have exemptions.
Right, we had something like that.
But Dave, does the vapor devices, do they fall under the same restrictions?
Great question.
They don't really have those here. I haven't really noticed a lot of that. Like it could be a new thing. I don't think it does, but I haven't really seen any around.
So I don't want to derail the conversation, but when I was in Las Vegas, there was a lot of people that had the vapor devices.
I agree.
More than ever before. And I talked to one of the guys that was in the vendor area of the conference. So I was at the conference selling T-shirts. He was in the vendor area. There was about 17,000 hackers at this particular event, and one of the vendors happened to have a selection of the vapor devices. So I'm like, dude, can I get 15 minutes of your time? I'm like, I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to buy one, but I just want to learn. He's like, yeah, that's cool. So, there's batteries, and then there's the vaporizer thing, and then there's the liquid that goes into it, and there's different kinds of tips and things you can put it in. And I said, well, what's the nicotine? He said, that's a great question. He's like, usually people fall into two different categories. They either want zero nicotine, he's like, which we have. You can buy ones that have absolutely no nicotine in them whatsoever, or they want the most nicotine possible inside of them. And he also said that you can hack these devices so that you can inhale the vapor and you can blow out either a lot of smoke or very, very, or smoke, like in quotes, right? But blow out a lot of vapor or very little vapor too. So I'm wondering if that's becoming popular in Australia and if it's regulated.
Well, having said that, what's come out I've seen recently over the last couple of years or year are the e-cigarettes are coming out.
Yeah,
here.
that's the vapor device. Yeah, it's the same technology.
Europe is huge. Europe is huge.
There's discussion of those being regulated the same way.
Which is interesting because you can get those without nicotine, which is kind of weird. I'll throw this out there to everyone. When I saw how popular they were and how the cost has come down, do you see those, especially in countries like Australia where it's heavily regulated, kind of displacing the cigar smoking and going to vapor?
I can just speak for here. I don't, just because of the people that I talk to. It's more for the cigars. It's more, even though they are highly regulated, it's just you don't get the same experience. I don't think.
I got you. I've never had the vapor stuff either.
Here, the vapor stuff is more to get around regulations around cigarettes. Like a lot of cigarette smokers have them. But I guess with the cigar, it's the people I talk to. It's more about the experience than it is. Like nicotine, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's definitely a sharp contrast between cigarette smokers and cigar smokers with respect to the vapor. The cigarette smokers, I think, are wanting probably the higher nicotine products.
And the question I got, I don't smoke pot, but I have no issues with it. I was going to go there. How is with the marijuana regulations? What is it in Australia? Is there any regulations on it?
It would be the same as the States.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
It's not legal anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I just in the States, what's it?
So it's interesting.
Colorado.
My brother-in-law is a teacher, and he said they went to a seminar, and they showed him a device that looked like a Sharpie.
He's not on.
But instead of the vapor that would emulate a cigarette or a cigar, it was a marijuana liquid that they were vaporizing, and there's no odor. There's hardly any smoke. Like I said, you can hack these things to have very little smoke, as I say, or vapor that comes out. And they were using that. They were actually bringing these devices to school and smoking when they're in school, and no one was the wiser. And they had to train the teachers to be able to look for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the main issue here, as well as with the price, that sort of would be the similar thing they're talking about with the FDA, because they'd have to up the prices because of the $10 limit and whatever, is that there's like a big kind of like gray market. So it's like there's a lot of, because the prices are so high, people will sell fake ones for really cheap.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people getting caught with like counterfeit cigars and buying them from people that know people that are in Hong Kong and all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, getting around customs. So speaking to that, Dave, I want to get into cigar discussion. So given how limited they are, right? Like, what cigars do you like to smoke?
Well, that's funny. Like, I said this to Will. When I listened to the Stogies of the Week, it's sort of like a kid standing in front of like a window of a toy store that doesn't have any money. Cause, like, like 90% of your cigars I can't buy here.
And the ones you can buy are very expensive. So what do you end up smoking?
Well, I guess what I smoke a lot of is My Father. There's a lot of My Father here. Mm-hmm. Drew Estate has just come here, so I smoke a lot of the Herrera Esteli line.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess because, like you said, I do smoke a lot of Cubans because there's no embargo here. Mm-hmm. So those are pretty popular, sort of around the place.
Are those more reasonably or the same price as Nicaraguan or Dominican, or?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. I mean, there's no difference really.
What's your favorite Cuban cigar?
Well,
stop.
In preparation for this show, I had the H. Upmann Magnum 46.
Oh yeah, can't go wrong there.
I love that
staple.
Just as we're speaking, speaking about Cubans,
Mark Jr.'s joined us.
Mark Jr. is on the line. Here's our third cohort. Welcome, Mark.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, Mark Jr.?
Oh, I've got my daughter to bed. It only took about an hour and 10 minutes. So.
He has a newborn, 3 weeks old also, so God love you.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, man.
Looks just like his wife. God bless.
It's best that way.
What are you smoking there, Mark Jr.?
Hot tea.
The Debonair Maduro Bellicoso.
Oh, that's what I'm just finishing now. I'm curious. You know what? I'm gonna hold off on talking about it until you get further into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only that far into it. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
But I'll tell you, if you come to the States, please come see me. I will load you up with so many cigars.
Well, he'd have to smoke them. He can only bring 4
fine.
grams
I don't
back.
care. I don't care. Well, I'll send them back with tuberculosis. I don't care. Hey, it really is. It's a great conversation on this. I mean, unfortunately, your part, it's not. Even on my own lounge, I'm so embarrassed to say this. I would say maybe 40% of the people belong to CRA, and our listeners that are listening to us, if you listen to this gentleman, fight the fight. Just don't, please don't be proactive. Don't be reactive, because to react to that is too late. It really is.
This is an eye-opener. This was a real eye-opener.
Now, the question I got for you also, flavor cigars, are they falling under the same criteria as regular cigars? Because flavor cigars are going to be the one they're going to go after here in the States to offset certain scenarios in the States. I just know that's coming.
Yeah, it's all basically, if it has tobacco in it, it gets all regulated the same.
Oh, wow.
And I guess those are generally cheaper, like the acids and stuff, just because they have a smaller size.
Yeah.
Because they don't they don't make a whole lot of like Toro size and stuff like that.
Right. And just I don't mean to be redundant. Mark Jr. just tuned in. Could you go over what you were mentioning about bringing in how expensive it is to bring in the cigar, so you can get a little grip of what's going on. If I was to ship you 5 cigars that weighed 2.2, was it grams?
Well, it's 2.2 pounds.
Pounds, right. Tell them how much that tax would be, if you would
All
don't
right,
mind.
so basically, here, about 2.2 pounds is $500 in tax. So for essentially each cigar in tax is about $10 to $12, depending on the size. So, for example, if you got a box of 20, that's like, so you got $200.
Isn't that crazy?
So,
I
mean, I was talking to a guy that does a shop out in New Zealand, and they have the same regulations. And he was saying he was going to get the Texas Lancero from Alec Bradley, but couldn't stock it because just the tax on the box was $1,000.
Oh.
And that's because of the weight.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy,
So
Mark?
your tax is purely on weight.
Yeah.
So do you order boxes that are lighter? Like, I know some of those My Father boxes, man, they weigh a ton, right? Like, you wouldn't order those online.
It's all the tobacco. I think with the boxes, they have some, like, formula they use where they weigh it, and then you get taxed on, like, 60% or 80% of the weight or something. But, like, in the shops, right? So, okay, so, like, all right. Let's say that Will's package gets stopped by customs. I have to pay the tax on the cigars, which would be like $80 probably. And then I'd have to pay them to get shipped to me, which would be another like $20. And then I'd have to pay sales tax on it, which would probably be another like $20. So it would be all up, it'd probably be for those 5 cigars, just to get them into the country from customs, it'd be like $120.
Wow.
Oh, dude. I don't. God bless you.
So it's difficult, but you can see, like, with that's the price, you can see how it trickles down to shops not being able to, sell enough to keep the overhead. Like, we don't get a lot of brands here, like Tatuaje, for example, or Tatuaje. They only have like one cigar that I can buy that's here. Like, nothing else in their line.
Which one is that?
Oh, I'd have to look. I can't remember. I just know it's one because I keep looking for the ones you talk about, and I can't find them.
You can't find them anywhere, yeah. No, that's
well, it's like the Opus X. Like the Opus X I saw in that store, it was like $70, and that's the first one I've seen in person in this country ever.
Australia's a beautiful country. I get it, and everything about it's beautiful. I'd be vacationing a lot.
That's right.
Seriously.
Yep.
Oh, my God. It's just so... No, this is off the beaten path. Excuse me.
How strict are they when you bring them in? And I'm sorry, I missed some stuff here.
No, you're right.
This might be a repeat, but like...
You can bring in, it's 50 grams is duty-free, which is about, what would they be, about 4 or 5 cigars maybe? Like a cigar is roughly like 10 grams, I think, 7 to 10.
Yeah, but you're still going to pay sales tax.
If you bring them in, you don't pay anything.
Oh, okay. Oh, you bring them in person by hand.
Well, I got to do something here. I got to support this cause. I got to do something for you.
Now, as soon as it goes over 50 grams, though, then you got to pay all the taxes on it.
What is your wish list? Blah blah.
Yeah, no, it's a great question.
And what is your wish list? Please let me know, and I'll take care of it.
Well, I just had. Because I'm going to be having Skip on the podcast in October.
Yep.
And I just had the Aquitaine Mode 5.
Oh, yeah.
That cigar sucks, doesn't it?
How's this? I hate that. Oh, go ahead. I'm not going to say
it. That cigar, is that the cigar that created the rating wet spot in my shorts?
Yes,
that's
4.75. I only smoked 6 of those.
A day.
At the show, and he kept giving them to me.
You just kept smoking. You came back with none.
What can I tell you?
Oh, at least that's what you told me.
Yeah. Before you leave, I'll give you my email address. You tell me what you want. 5 cigars.
We'll send him one cigar at a time.
No. I've got to do something here. Okay, Aquitaine 5. What else?
Well, like with Will, because I want to have Phil on the show, and it's another issues because a lot of smaller cigar smokers, because of all the taxes and overheads and stuff, they can't. It's not even worth it to them to get their cigars here. So I haven't been able to try any of the Debonair stuff.
Okay, Debonair.
Yeah, he's got 2 Sagitas coming, so maybe he can get like
those are small and light.
A
so, yeah.
Bellicoso.
Yeah.
No, I'll do the Toro. Do the Toro. Trust me, we'll do the Toro.
Well, that's weight, dude. You got to be careful.
Oh, like you think it weighs more than the Bellicoso?
Well, it weighs more than the Sagita anyway.
He's already got the Sagita.
Oh,
just stop. Okay, that's your second one.
Yeah.
What's your third one?
How about an Opus A? That should really skew everything.
That's pretty heavy.
I tell you what.
I got those coming in. I got those coming in.
Oh, the Opus X, like for me, it's like a unicorn. Like
Okay.
I think they exist, but I've never really seen them.
Okay,
so
I'll take care of that. Now, last but not least, what's your white whale?
Let me think. It would have to be the La Aurora.
Which one?
Because you guys, the Cien Años.
Yes, I got those.
So I've got an opportunity to buy another almost full box of those that I'll share with the Stogie Geeks crew.
Okay.
I've got the inside scoop.
Okay.
So
we want them.
If you want to get in on that,
Okay.
You know what? I'll just buy them and then we'll distribute them.
Okay, and I'll tell you what. It's a small cigar. It is absolutely my favorite Corona. Is the Paul Gamarian.
Oh yeah, Gourmet series.
Gourmet? No.
Reserve exclusive.
Reserve. I'll put that in there, and we'll exchange emails. I'll take care of that for you, and God bless you. I feel bad. I just think anything I can do to help, if that will help, we'll take care of that for you. We'll exchange emails, and we'll take care of that for you.
So Dave,
that's fantastic.
Yep.
I think I got a stinky old Opus that'll demystify the unicorn for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dave, are you ready to play 5 questions with the Stogie Geeks?
Oh, sure, I guess so.
3 words to describe yourself.
Oh, 3 words. Bald.
Very accurate.
So I'm going to go with bald, tired, and hungry now.
If you were a serial killer, what would be your weapon of choice?
Oh, I was thinking about this because you had it with another. It'd have to be. I'd like to go. I'd go something. I'd go cigar cutter. I'd go that.
If you wrote a book about yourself, what would the title be?
What would the title be? It's funny. It might be bald, tired, and hungry, but
excellent.
I don't know.
In the popular game of Ask Grabby Grabby, do you prefer to go first or second?
I gotta go first.
If you could pick 2 celebrities to be your parents, mom and dad, or mom and dad and dad, who would they be?
2 celebrities. I think I'd go Robert Downey Jr. because that might just be crazy.
That was dude. We picked the same dad. How about that? We're brothers. We're brothers now, Dave. That's awesome.
Dude, now you're fucked for life.
We're brothers, and Robert Downey Jr. is our dad.
Yeah, make sure you got big nostrils or big veins.
And for the mom, I have no idea. I'll go with man, I don't even know. I don't even know who to pick for that. I'll go with Selma Hayek, just because it's the name that came to mind.
Right. I was going to say, if you chose Betty White, dude, and we picked the same ones at random. Dude,
although Betty White and Robert Downey Jr.,
those were my celebrity parents, dude. I had a guest earlier that answered for the dad, Samuel L. Jackson. I thought that was a pretty good answer, too.
Oh, dude.
Who was the mom for the previous guest? I don't remember now. Anyway.
How about Rosie O'Donnell, no?
That could be. Could be.
That could be your mom and dad.
That's for Paul Little, right?
But what I'll do, Coop's got your information, right? I just don't want to blow up my email out here. I'll talk to Coop and I'll get all the information. We'll
yeah.
We'll get. I know it. Oh,
feed him some more liquor so they'll give out.
He's drank this whole goddamn bottle.
I had
really want that to happen.
Oh, man. But more importantly, seriously, I hope the listeners have listened to this. This is great information.
Yeah.
Shocking. Unfortunately, he's got to deal with it, not me.
Dave,
God bless you.
Thank you very much for appearing on the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people find your podcast?
They can go to, it's on my blog, which is just cigarjukebox.com. Or if they search Cigar Jukebox in iTunes, they should be able to find it there.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Dave, thank you very much for appearing on the Stogie Geek Show. You're more than welcome to stick around for the next segment where we're going to talk about our Stogies of the Week, probably 98% of which you are not able to purchase in Australia. And I apologize.
Oh, yeah, right.
About that.
Oh, yeah.
Even the wishlist may grow.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to take a short break, come back for our Stogies of the Week.
And I'm the one that's drinking. That is a great episode. I really hope people out there smoking smokes understand that.